were left on the mat. I said pretty much after every performance that he's one of these guys that gets off the mat and he's processing it, moving forward, and he was doing the same there. And he knows he can score more points. Good gutsy win and composed.
Is there something to being able to win these, marquee matchups against returning All-Americans and still have things that you can go back and work on, things that stand out that you could do better?
I think when you're a competitor, there's always something that you can do better. I tried to rhyme better with competitor. I look at the best guys that we have in our room, the best guys that have been through the program. I look at Dan Gable and what he stood for, and never satisfied comes to mind. So guys like, Kemmer and Sorensen and Marinelli and Spencer Lee and really all of the guys in our lineup, it's hard to be satisfied when you walk off the mat. Marinelli, he had a tough win. It was a big win again for him. In an arena that he's done very well in. He walked off the mat, he said, I got to get off the bottom. And that's really, as a coach, that's how you want your guys thinking, forward thinking.
How much is Spencer's development, do you think, helps by actually not redshirting this year, and that he's facing these guys in these situations?
Well, the conversation was steady early, even before he was released to wrestle hard on the option of whether he was going to redshirt or not. The conversation was steady when he got on the mat. It was steady when he competed at the UNI Open, and then when he went to Midlands, it was still steady, and even after his loss. And the conversation that I had with him was, if we don't do this, the next time you compete is going to be, at the Pat Flash Flanagan Open in Dubuque, Iowa. And, I'm not sure that for a guy that what you've accomplished already, that's the best path. And it's not like the conversation was even as long as I relay it to you right now. The conversation was very short, and he was on the same page right away. So this path is definitely the path that he needs, and that was the thought process, whether we were going to take him on a red shirt or not, because I think you tend to get bored if you're at a level and you just keep going back to, it'd be like, my daughter playing me in the memory game over and over and over again and never finding somebody that could challenge her. Because she whips me every time, and it wouldn't be fun for her. She would get bored. And so you got to go find a challenge somewhere.
Tom, what did you learn about your guys at Ohio State and the way they competed?
There's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of ways to look at it. I don't think coaching is about you learn something every week. I think it's about, and you do, and especially like Spencer Lee, you learn, hey, you can go win a tough match. You didn't even score a takedown. But the most important thing is that our guys keep getting better. And when you look at guys like Glenn and Happel and Bowman and Caleb Young and Cash Wilkie, go get the first takedown. I don't know if we're using the full 7 minutes. And this is a common theme, so it's not something new that we've learned. It's more like this is a kind of, now we can emphasize it even more because it happened again. And we talk about wrestling hard for 7 minutes, but these guys are getting the first takedown on us because we're coming out and we're straight-legged and we're kind of waiting to break into the match. And next thing you know, you got a takedown and back points against you, or several takedowns in the first period. What are you waiting for to get into the match? And if you're waiting to get into that match, then you're not using the full 7 minutes. And this is a sport that the tough part of it is the part that you have to embrace to be successful. And one of the toughest part of it is that it's a 7-minute grind. And if you try to shorten that match any other way than wrestling tough in those 7 minutes, you are doing yourself a disservice. But if you try to shorten that match by wrestling hard and making it a long match for your opponent, then you're putting things in your favor.
Coach mentioned Caleb Young. What went into the decision to have him wrestle on Sunday?
I know that Joey Gunther has a lot of scoring potential, and I know that we haven't seen it, but I know it's there, and it was for 2 reasons. We'll see what Caleb Young can do. We'll rest Joe Gunther in this matchup against a number 1 or 2 ranked guy in the country, and we'll see where it goes. What did Caleb Young show me? He showed me that he can, take a guy down and, but let's go wrestle 7 minutes hard and get those first takedowns and build your lead in that first period. Make it very difficult for that guy to survive. And that's that's something that you see in our room, that Caleb Young has that characteristic in him. And so we got to get it tuned in to where it's, happening in those matches.
Could this be an opportunity for him then?
I mean, it was an opportunity, and he's a heartbeat away from the presidency at 2 weights.
Is he going to stay at 65, 74? Is he moving up to 74?
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, we just got to be really smart because of the silly weigh-in rules that we have. But I know that we have good people at both weights, and Marinelli is the 65-pounder. I said that even when he wasn't in the lineup. He was the 65-pounder. It was just a matter of getting him in there. And you know what? Caleb Young's going to have to back up 2 weights. But Young had a match with Gunther that was decided in overtime, off his, own silly shot. Way back when. So, and he looks good in the practice room. We don't have a lot of issues with our guys, even in backup roles. And that's a really good thing when guys come to work with that in mind. And that's why, you have fun when you go in there as a spectator. Go sit in those bleachers and it'll be entertaining, or as a coach. But we still got a lot of work to do, so.
Do you have any, is there going to be any changes at 184 this week, or are you still waiting for official word?
Well, you mean like, what do you mean like?
Pat Downey. Is he available or
yeah.
not?
Well, see, I'm not thinking that.
Okay.
Here's why I'm not thinking that, because there's still steps to take.
Okay.
All right, I'm going, I mean, Bowman's doing a good job. Bowman and Young showed something at the end of their matches. And I'm not about moral victories. But when you're staying in there, and even after the adversity, where guy's shoe falls off, they give him a 2-point reversal. Mm-hmm. They give him 8 near fall on the same hold. And you're still staying in there. You didn't throw the towel in and say, I'll get him the next time. That shows me something. And how he continued to stay in there and try to win that match to the very bitter end with 10 seconds going, he locks up that cradle. That shows me something. And, Young in the first period, he hurried the set. It was 2-1, and he hurried the shot. He was too high and got whipped. And too easy of a takedown. And then in the third period, it's a shorter, quicker, 2 hands to the leg shot where he's not, here, but he's here. That's all the difference. It's millimeters.
What if you thought of coming